All right, so my research project was on the Republic of Ireland, more commonly just called Ireland. Um, it's a small island nation directly to the west of the United Kingdom. It's important to specify between the Republic of Ireland and just Ireland because Ireland is the entire island, which contains the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. During the Irish independence movement in the 20s, an agreement was reached with England to allow England to keep the six primarily Protestant counties to the north as part of the United Kingdom, and everything to the south would become an independent nation known as the Republic of Ireland. So that is an important distinction that you'll have when talking about the country, because it is kind of considered one country, kind of considered two countries. It's a very complex political situation that stems from divisions between wanting to be part of the United Kingdom and not, and Protestantism and Catholicism. So the population of Ireland, it's got 5.09 million people. Its dominant language is English. The traditional Gaelic languages are not as common, but there is a big revival movement in Ireland to teach people the language, not as a functional language, but more just to preserve the heritage. So it is making a comeback, but the dominant language is still definitely English for your day to day business. So a lot of Irish people will learn the traditional Irish Gaelic as a second language. And then the dominant religion is Catholicism. That gets into the country's history of splitting in half. Um, it's also caused some issues with terrorism, with groups like the Ulster Volunteer Force and the Real Irish Republican Army. You've got Catholic versus Protestant sentiment that has run really deep for decades, if not hundreds of years. And that has caused a lot of issues and is part of the reason Ireland is currently separated into the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. And then the population density, pretty sparse at 72.4 per kilometer. And that's going to get even sparser because the vast majority of the population is clustered in cities, like Dublin being the most populous. All right, and the geography, Ireland is mostly low central plains surrounded by coastal mountains and hills. So this does a couple of things. It presents a really great wind block for the country, so that actually makes it a lot warmer, or at least feel a lot warmer than countries at similar latitudes. And then it also provides some really amazing scenery along the coast, and it makes Ireland a lot more popular of a tourist destination for people just looking to see scenery. A lot of nature photographers like Ireland for this reason. And if we go back, actually, go back here a little bit, that photograph is the Cliffs of Moher. I took that. But a lot of nature photographers really like this area on the coast of Ireland. You get a lot of puffins, a lot of local wildlife. So it's very popular for the tourism industry. So in addition to creating that wind block and making it warmer in the central part of the country, it really helps their tourism industry thrive. And that wind block is going to lead us into their climate. So it has a maritime temperate climate, and the most prevalent reason for this is the North Atlantic current comes in and warms the country considerably. So it's going to be a lot warmer than countries at similar latitudes. If you look at parts of Russia, parts of China that are at a similar latitude to Ireland, it is going to be a lot colder in those areas because they don't have that warm current coming in off the North Atlantic Ocean. But then again, another factor, like I previously mentioned, is going to be your cliffs and hills and mountains along the coasts. That is really going to create a wind block for winds coming in off the ocean, and not as much cold air is going to get blown in. So that really helps the agricultural industry thrive because you've got a country that is very far north, and if not for these reasons, would be very, very cold, actually ends up having a temperate climate and really mild winters. So it makes it an ideal country for farming, especially with those low, flat regions in the center of the country. So farming is a massive part of Ireland's industry. And if we go back into industry and urban development, so as I previously mentioned, farming in that center part of Ireland there, you're going to get a lot of farms, A lot of more of the rural areas is farming. That is going to be your dominant industry, along with things like tourism and whatnot. But your manufacturing and urban industries are going to be almost completely concentrated around Dublin and other city areas. Dublin is your densest populated area. That is the biggest city of Ireland, and it is also Ireland's capital city. About 2/3 of Ireland's population lives in urban areas, with the most prevalent being Dublin. I mean, it is the best way I can describe it is like being in a separate country almost. The vibe from it. You've got this very densely packed urban country, and then a very sparsely populated country when you get out into the whole of Ireland. If we look at the 72.4 people per kilometer, that is going to be massively denser on the coast near Dublin and more populated areas. And then I've got my works cited here, and that covers everything that is covered in my paper. In addition, it also covers a couple of maps that were not in my paper. The geography map and the industry and urban development map. Yeah, and that's what I've got.